Hello, I'm Alexia Doumbouya, and I am here with Miss Karen Hoyer, the medical librarian at St. Mary Medical Center. Good morning to you. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Certainly.
Just wanted to sit down and have a conversation with a very important and detailed role in the medical center that I think a lot of patients and maybe those of us who are not as widely familiar with the hospital system, a very important role that you play in this particular center. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do. How long have you been with St. Mary?
I've been here for over 5 years.
Wow, okay. And let's talk a little bit about the role of a medical librarian. How would you categorize that? Give us some insight.
Well, I think basically, in a nutshell, the role of the medical librarian is to provide healthcare information for all the staff, for the patients, and the families of the patients who are here at the hospital. And at any time, if you need anything in particular in the way of health information, I can help you find that.
Awesome. So, it brings up a good question. So you talked a little bit about who your quote-unquote customer may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone who needs more information.
Exactly.
So is there like a common question that you get, and is there a common question based on audience member, or what do you think?
Well, most of the medical staff use the library for research. They're trying to find the latest particular conditions, the topics, the patient who just came in with a particular need that needs to be addressed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What are the newest treatment options? What are the latest drugs that will be needed to treat that particular patient?
Okay.
Anything along that line. So what they're looking for is accurate, up-to-date information.
Okay.
And that's the best, that's what I do to provide.
Awesome.
I do the research for them, or else I point them out to the particular resources that would be the best for that particular usage.
Okay, so then that requires you to be very in tune on what's happening as far as research and the latest, and making sure that the information that's accessible to them is current.
I work very hard at looking for the newest resources that are out there that can be used for anything that we need.
Anything.
You're looking for e-textbooks online, you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for the latest databases, the latest coverage of particular topics, what's the most efficient
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and most cost-effective way to find that particular information and get that to the people who need it.
That's world class, I would say. And
Thank
we
you.
know the mission behind St. Mary is to make sure we focus on simple human kindness. And I think what you do every day kind of helps to reinforce that mission.
Thank you.
So thank you again. So a lot of what we're doing with the Power of the Patient Project is all around patient advocacy. Right? So in your world and a lot of what you're doing, it's important for patients to become knowledgeable. So why is patient-centered care, from your lens, why is that so important?
Well, most patients who come into the hospital are already overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
They have, detailed information as to what may be going on, what the conditions might be, what problems that will come up, what the side effects are of a particular drug, that kind of stuff. So they're overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times that people are looking for information, what they do is they go to the easiest. They go and they find what they can. And they're not necessarily looking at the best resources to find that particular information and to make it accurate and up to date.
Yeah.
So the hospital and me as the library staff, my mission is to make sure that they have the most accurate and up-to-date information that's health-based, evidence-based, and is correct for a particular patient or patient's family.
I think you said it right there. We're in the digital age, and technology is huge, so we know people will quickly use search engines,
Yep.
whichever in particular their choice, to look up a lot of information. But I think the value that you just shared of the librarian, you as a medical librarian, is important because you mentioned it, accuracy.
Yes.
Making sure that it's rooted in some really good context. Now that does bring me to another question I'm interested. So, I'm very familiar with like the public library system. Dewey Decimal System and all those things. Is there a different system that's used to keep things kind of streamlined and categorized in the medical library?
Yes, the National Library of Medicine has
Okay.
their own medical system to categorize documents. And that gives you a better way to categorize, so you get all the information about a particular area all in one space.
In one space. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of categorizes it that way. Got it, based on subject. So, again, patient advocacy is huge. And a lot of the work that you've done in the past what got you into the field, I think, in general, as it relates to...
Well, I'm a teacher by trade, and my undergraduate degree is in library science and education.
Okay.
And so I did student teaching and all those kind of things, but a lot of it comes back to teaching, to figuring out how you can explain to people how this works, why this works the way it does, why this is a better resource maybe than something else along that line. So and I also taught classes for people to find better healthcare information, so that when they're looking for something, they're not going to just any search engine, they're going to the good ones. They're going to the government
Yeah.
sources, National Library of Medicine, PubMed, Medline Plus, those kind of good sources for information.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So, Mrs. Karen Hoyer, patient advocate in her own right. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Power of the Patient Project. It's been interesting getting to know you and a lot of the work that you're doing. And we applaud you and other medical professionals, if you will, that are in the
Thank you.
field, that are helping us to stay knowledgeable about our patient rights and other areas that we may not even know that we need to know. Is there any one final thought that you would want to leave our patients with, medical professionals, those who are watching us today, and maybe just looking to gain a little more clarity on either the space of the medical library or other ways that they can stay in touch with their own rights?
Well, I think you were always invited to stop by any particular library. The medical library is open to all. And if you need anything in particular, either I can help you myself, or I hopefully can point you to the right person who can help you. The library itself is the best basis for healthcare information for anyone who's involved with anything in medicine.
Awesome.
And I feel that the medical librarian will probably get to a point where you're going to be going to the bedside and actually helping the patient right there. You know, getting them information, finding out what they need, getting them, you know, whatever the patient's family needs to make the next particular
Decisions.
medical decision that they need to make.
That's awesome.
So that's the big purpose of it.
Awesome. Truly evolution in progress. Thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you to all of our watchers and listeners. I'm Alexia Doumbouya with the Power of the Patient Project. Have a great day.
Thank you.